So we're going to hop over then to the illustration section, and we have pictures. What this allows you to do, it allows you to select. There's some nice pictures of me when I was a young child. I'm going to go ahead and pick, let's go with this one right here. Okay, I clicked on that. It took me to my pictures. Now, if you had pictures stored somewhere else, you could go through your computer and you could initially find it. But since mine, I have pictures already set in here, I'm going to go ahead and use that, and I'm going to click insert, and there I am. I don't know what happened to me, but that's what I used to look like. Okay, and so that's what happens with that. Now, when I select this picture, they have Microsoft Word has what is called a conditional tab, and what that means is it has a tab that is conditional or is only used when certain things are selected. So if I select below here, okay, that's a footer. I want to select inside, and let's just say I push enter. Notice how that tab has disappeared. Okay, because what the document thinks I'm going to start doing is that I'm going to start typing. However, there you go, you can see it right there. However, if I select the picture by clicking on it, you will find that the Format tab comes up here. And we're going to look at just how the table works, how it works for tables as well, but we're going to use the pictures first. And it has all kinds of options. It can remove certain types of backgrounds. Now, this is not a photoshopping program, but it is still pretty nice, where you can get a majority of what you want. If you want to mark areas to keep, you just click this, and you can select areas that you would like to keep inside of your picture. And again, it's not Photoshop, so it does take a little bit longer, and it's not as smart and not as great, but it does give you a couple of options with that. If you wanted to remove certain areas, let's just say I wanted to remove the spots I just picked or something else, I could click on that, and then I would click. I just clicked on my skin there. I could make a line, and let's see what it does with that. Okay, so it took away part of my neck and my chin. And if I want to discard everything that I've changed, I can click on this, or I can click on Keep Changes, and it will only keep that which has been selected. And so there's other options that we have here. So if you click on Correction, so I got to select my full picture, I can make it lighter, I can make it darker, so it's giving me a preview of what this would look like. So it's got a couple of different options there. If you want to play with pictures like that, I can make it so that it is all yellow or all blue. Let's just go with blue. There we go. I can even add artistic effects. If you think Mr. Swinehart is absolutely hideous, we can make it so you have no idea who this child is. Let's see that. It's kind of creepy looking. Then there's other options. You could change the picture, or if you're like, you know what, I don't like anything that I've done here, I can just reset the picture to normal. Coming into the picture styles, okay, so that was adjusting the picture. Okay, if I come into picture styles, I have a slew of different frames that I can choose for this picture. However, I cannot change where the frame is. Okay, I can't change anything where the frame is. I can only change what kind of frame that I have chosen. All right, you can change the border, you can change the color of it, you can change the weight. The weight is similar to changing the size of the font. It just makes it a little bit more thicker. So you can click on that. There's some other line options you can do. If you like dashes, if that's your thing, you can change that as well. Picture effects. This doesn't really change how the picture is. It just changes what the picture is doing. Again, kind of on the border. So if I wanted to add a nice glowing edge around my picture, it just creates a glowing edge around the picture. Position really determines where your picture is going to be on that page. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit. Okay, and position, you can see where it will position your picture by merely just sliding your mouse over that option. And what that does is that no matter what happens or whatever you're typing, it will anchor that picture in that spot. So if you want a picture in the bottom left or you want it in the bottom middle, whatever it may be, let's say top center, you can do that. And what happens is, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to type a quick sentence here. Let me zoom in just a little bit, okay? And let's give myself a little bit bigger font so it spreads easier so you can see what this is going to look like. Let's go, Mr. Swinehart was in the, I believe this is the 3rd grade. Now, when I selected the picture, okay, I selected the position, there's an option called wrap text. And what that means is, wherever I put my picture, it will wrap the text around it. So it won't go over it, it won't go behind it, it will just go next to it, okay? So if I chose, now I moved over to wrap text. If I choose this option, there are more things that I can choose here. I can choose to put my picture behind the text. I can choose to put it in front. I can choose that put text on only on the top and the bottom. I can have text go through my picture. There's a lot of different options here. And what you need to be sure is that you find the right option for your picture. Okay? Now, when it comes to this section of Arrange right here, what this is looking at is, if you could imagine here just for a second, I'm going to go ahead and add another picture. Okay? Let's see here. I'll add me when I was in, I believe that was 5th grade. I have these 2 pictures inside of this document. Okay? And I'm going to zoom out so we can see it just a little bit better. Okay? And let's say I want these pictures right next to each other. Well, I'm going to go ahead and change this. Let's just go in front of text, okay? But I don't want it to be, maybe I want the other picture to be on top. Well, what happens is every time I add something, it adds another layer. So every time I add a picture, it's adding another layer. And it's kind of like I'm adding a piece of paper each and every time. And maybe I want to show a different part or different paper, so I'm going to have to take that layer out and move it. To show you what I mean by that is, now that I've put this picture on top, it sees that there are layers. And that's what these mean here. To bring forward means it's only going to bring it forward one level or one layer. To send backwards means it's only going to send it backwards one level or one layer as well. So if I click on this arrow, you will find that there's also 2 other options. To send to back means to send it completely back. It's in the farthest back as possible. You can't get any backer than you already are when you click this option. So if I click this, it sends it all the way to the back. The same option is true in forward when he says bring to front. I can bring it all the way to the front. Last couple of things here. Align. If you want your picture to be lined in, the left, or you want your picture lined in the right, the middle, in the center, okay, it allows you to do that. Now this is a fun one here, I have this picture selected. If I hold Control and I select the other picture, I can create what is called a group. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Align. And what I would like to do is distribute the pictures horizontally. Now you can see that these are whited out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one of these options here, because when I select, this is already selected where it says Align Selected Objects, meaning it's selecting both of them. But I want them to align not to each other, but to the margin. So when I select that, notice how this is changed. By clicking on horizontally, it has moved them left and right to that. If I select vertically, it will then move it up and down as well. And if I wanted to, this is another cool option. Once I have both of them selected, and let's say I have them where I want them, I can click Group, Now when that happens, they become one big picture instead of two. And so I can shrink them together instead of without, or having to shrink one at a time. I can shrink both. And then again, there's rotate, flip vertically, and flip horizontally if I want them to look in opposite direction. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click ungroup. Okay, that separates them again into their own little groups again. And what I am going to do, I'm going to select this picture here. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. And I'm going to click on crop. Now, if I click on the arrow, there's a couple things. I can crop to a specific shape, a specific ratio. Maybe I don't like the one I have. I can make it fill something or fit something. But most of us, when we try to crop something, we want to crop it to a certain desired ratio. I'm just going to click it here, and it's called freeform for the most part, where I can move the sides wherever I want. Maybe you think, my hair is hideous, so you just want to get a nice shot of that dashing smile. And voila, there you go. And notice how the frame did not change. The frame is still the same. But another cool option that you have here is these little size tools that show you the exact measurements of them. Sometimes we get this picture that covers the whole page, and maybe even in PowerPoint, and we got to shrink it down and we try to find the edges. If you select the picture and you just come up here, you can shrink it, you can make it bigger, whatever it is that you would like to do, and it will keep the same ratio that you have here. All right, and so let's just, for funsies, we're going to uncrop it. So I clicked crop again. And just to give you an idea of what happens when I click on crop to shape, let's do a smiley face. Okay, and you can see there's a little smiley face kind of guy in there, and you can just see the two dots and the smile. So whenever, again, you click on a picture, it's going to bring up the conditional tab, which is a format tab there. And so clicking back on insert, there's online pictures. Now the cool part is, now I've got airplane mode on to save some battery here, is that they will help you find pictures online that are free for you to use. If you found a picture from a website, whatever, that is not yours, there are some websites that require you to cite where you got that source. There's also shapes. If you want to add shapes, there's all kinds of fun stuff in here. If you want to add arrows, I select it, and all I have to do is start, hold my mouse down, and drag it to wherever I want it. Now, in this case, with arrows and other things, when you have these little yellow dots, you can change certain parts of the shape. So I can make it skinnier. I can make it the arrow longer. Oops, I must have let go there. Make the arrow part longer, whatever it may be. And again, when you click on that shape, what shows up? A conditional tab known as the format tab. Let's go back to insert here and just wrap up some of these things here. We don't have a whole lot. Smart art is not just for smart people, but if you want to draw patterns, how things are related to each other, whatever it may be, you can add different things there, and it will add it to your paper. Charts come from tables and other things. You can put those in. If you select that, screenshots I think are absolutely awesome. Screenshots allows you to see different things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Chrome again, even though I have airplane mode on. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on screenshot, and it shows me the two optional things that I can put on here. So I'm going to click on this. Let's go ahead and delete him. There. And I can crop this. I can change it to whatever I want. I like the Chrome dinosaur, so I'm going to go ahead and just make him on here. Okay, there we go. And again, I can resize him to any way that I would like. Just make him a little bit bigger. There you go. Okay, so that's a screenshot, and that takes a picture of anything that is on all the open windows. It looks at all of the open windows and says, which one do you want to screenshot? Now I only have two things open, so that's why that didn't show up.